There was a time when the sacred dominated the map of human meaning. The cathedral rose above the town. The cross cast a long shadow across daily life. The world bent toward rituals, saints, prophecies, and the promise of eternity. For centuries in Europe, faith was not optional. It was the center of everything. But then something changed. A shift so deep it toppled the pillars of belief, morality, and truth. It began in the long dawn of the Enlightenment and that wild age of reason, of science, of asking questions no one dared ask before. Imagine the world in the early 18th century. Scholars and philosophers, once tethered to church doctrines, began speaking a different language. Instead of revelation, they spoke reason. Instead of divine authority, they demanded evidence. They said, maybe the universe is not governed by angels and demons, but by laws. Maybe meaning is not given from above, but made by us. That transformation eroded the foundations of faith. The Enlightenment placed human reason at the center of knowledge and understanding. It challenged the view that revelation and faith were the primary sources of truth. It celebrated science, empirical research, and progress. It embraced the notion that humanity could be improved through rational change. When nature could be explained with math and experiment, the need for supernatural explanations began to look fragile. And then came the blow. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche declared, "God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him." But this was not about some cosmic murder of a deity. It was about the death of an idea. It was the idea that there is an objective, transcendent anchor to morality, truth, and meaning. Nietzsche's point was that the Christian God, the moral God, had become unbelievable to modern society. When you pull out the foundation of faith, what happens to the building? You don't just change the roof, you shake the whole structure. Without God, morality becomes fluid, truth becomes unstable, purpose becomes optional. Nietzsche warned that when one gives up the Christian faith, one pulls the right to Christian morality out from under one's feet. In short, the Enlightenment loosened the divine. Science dethroned revelation. Then Nietzsche pointed out that we had killed God. And now we were left asking, what next? That vacuum did not simply fill itself. It grew. What followed is the world we live in today. A world where meaning is not handed down but made up. A world where religion persists, yes, but no longer dominates the horizon of belief. A world where identity, politics, consumption, and entertainment compete to fill the void left behind. We worship fame, we worship money, we worship technology and self-optimization. We have replaced the transcendent with the immediate. This replacement is messy because when the absolute disappears, the relative remains, and relativism comes in. If there is no ultimate anchor to say this is right and that is wrong, then everything becomes negotiable. This is not mere philosophy. It is lived experience. Our loneliness, our loss of wonder, our search for purpose, our endless scrolling for validation. These are the symptoms of a world after God. But here's the controversial truth. This shift is irreversible. We cannot go back. We cannot rewind the Enlightenment or kneel at the altar of unquestioned faith without paying a price. The modern world, which rejects transcendence, rejects absolute authority, and rejects found meaning, also rejects the safety net of a shared moral horizon. We are our own makers now, free maybe, but also exposed, vulnerable, and adrift. Nietzsche recognized this. He saw the freedom but also the abyss. So what does humanity believe in now? We believe in ourselves. We believe in progress. We believe in the next gadget. We believe in the brand. We believe in the story we tell about ourselves. But belief is not the same as grounding. We may believe many things, but few beliefs answer the deepest question. Why? Why are we here? What does it matter? Without God, those questions become louder. They don't vanish. They echo. And yet, there is hope. Because if meaning is made, not given, then we are the authors of it. If truth is not discovered but constructed, then we are the builders. In the void left by the death of God, there is also space for new creation, but creation demands courage. It demands recognition of the abyss as well as the summit. It demands that we don't pretend the grounding is still there when it's not, that we don't hide in illusions of progress or consumption, that we take responsibility for what we believe, what we build, and who we become. This story of humanity, from faith to reason, from God to self, might look like liberation, but it is not without cost. The price of freedom is the lack of certainty. The cost of building your own meaning is the fear of failure. The consequence of rejecting transcendence is the burden of creating values. So what do you believe in now? Not what you've been told, not what you inherited. What do you believe in? Because the God we once believed in might be gone, but we still have to live. And what we build with those days matters. The horizon we look toward matters. The story we tell ourselves matters.